What a headshot! What a head!
How's it, guys? This is Dayvy, FPL, and welcome back to the Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now in this video, I'm going to take you guys through the announcements that were released yesterday of double/blank game week 33 and then also double game week 31. So in this video, I'll be going through the fixtures that are going to be taking place as well as the possible occurrences of blanks and doubles, especially in double game week/blank game week 33. And then at the end of the video, I'll be discussing my updated chip strategy. Now I know that game week 33 and game week 31 are not the upcoming game week, that's going to be blank game week 30, but I have created a lot of content on that in the past 2 days, and check out the team selection coming up tomorrow after the conclusion of the games for double game week 29 tonight. But if you guys want to hear all about double game week 33 and double game week 31, sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it. So the first talking point we're going to be going over is double game week 31. The simple reason for that is that it's a lot easier to talk about this because we have secure double game weeks and it's only going to be for 2 teams. Those 2 teams are going to be Burnley and then also Everton. Not the most exciting kind of teams to double up on, but it is a double game week after all. And the fixtures for Burnley include Man City at home and Everton at home as well. So 2 home fixtures there, which is going to be quite good for Burnley. Both these 2 teams in relegation battles, but I think the first game there, Man City at home, almost makes this a single game week for me. I just can't see Burnley scoring against Man City's defense, and I think they will concede a few. The only slim chance I think is probably a Nick Pope. He can rack up the save points here, and maybe like Crystal Palace that Man City faced on Monday, they could maybe squeak a clean sheet. The Everton at home game is super hard to call. As I mentioned, both of these 2 teams in a relegation battle, so that's almost a 6-point here, but definitely the better fixture out of the double. We then move on to Everton's double, which is going to be West Ham away and then Burnley away. Better fixtures on paper, but I still do think that West Ham away is a tough fixture to go by, especially if West Ham do lose tonight against Sevilla. Now, as always do, I have rated the fixtures from my opinion, red being quite a bad fixture, white being an average mediocre fixture, and then finally green is a good fixture. Now, in terms of double game week 31, I probably won't be putting too much focus on. I can't see myself getting any Burnley options, any Everton options, because I just can't trust these 2 teams. And when you do take a little bit of a closer look at the fixtures, yes, it is a double game week, but the first games are pretty tough. But maybe you guys have a different opinion to me. Drop it in the comments down below. Let me know all about those Gordons, those Richarlisons, or maybe even a Weghorst if you guys are going to go there again. But now we're going to turn our attention to double game week 33, and you might be asking me, why am I covering the FA Cup quarterfinals? Well, unfortunately, the FA Cup quarterfinals are going to lead to doubles and blanks in double game week/blank game week 33, but fortunately, we will know this at the conclusion of game week 30. And the reason I'm saying that is obviously blank game week 30, the reason it's going to be a blank is for the next round of the FA Cup games, so when those games have concluded over the weekend, we'll have a clear picture of who doubles and who blanks in double game week 33. Now right off the bat, the 1 quarter-final I won't be covering is going to be Crystal Palace versus Everton. Both Crystal Palace and Everton both will only have a single game week. There's no kind of chance of a blank or double, and therefore I'm not going to cover them. But the 3 teams I'm going to talk about are going to be Liverpool, Man City and Chelsea, because these 3 results are going to have a heavy implication on the blanks and the doubles in game week 33. So in terms of fixtures, we have Liverpool taking on Forest away, we have Man City taking on Southampton away, a fellow Prem team, but I'm going to talk about Man City first just because they are the favourites in that game. Then we have Chelsea taking on Middlesbrough also away. So the reason I want to talk about these 3 teams in specific is that they are the favourites to win those FA Cup games, and therefore the odds of them winning are quite high, and therefore throughout this video I'm going to probably talk about the possibility that they do win these fixtures. If they do go on to not win, I'll also talk about those possible doubles and those blanks caused by that result. But the reason I want to talk about the FA Cup quarterfinals is that if these 3 teams do win, the chance of them doubling is negated because they will therefore only have a single game week. Why is that? Well, the semi-finals of the FA Cup will be taking place in game week 33, so therefore that first weekend, not the midweek after that will result in the double game week, the first initial weekend of game week 33, they will blank in that first game. Now we will talk about the possibilities in the upcoming talking points, but I just want to give you guys some context of why there are some teams that could double and some teams that could blank. If there are upsets though, which I mean in the FA Cup, it has a history of some upsets. The away games kind of worry me slightly. All 3 of the favourites are playing away, so there have been some miracles that have happened in the FA Cup prior. But I'm just going to be going over the conclusion that these 3 favourites will win. So now heading on to the blank game week 33 possibility, if Man City, Liverpool and Chelsea all win their games, that will result in 3 blanks. And the 3 teams that would blank are going to be Leeds, Wolves and then Aston Villa. Just check the fixtures that they have. Leeds play Chelsea, Wolves play Man City and then also Aston Villa play Liverpool. So there's a little bit of a weird concept to wrap your mind around. The teams that win in the FA Cup won't blank, but their opposition in the prior game will. Now this is quite easy to kind of predict the blanks. If Chelsea go on and win but Man City and Liverpool lose, obviously Leeds will only have a blank fixture, and so on and so forth. Now this will be a really integral part of planning for the upcoming double/blank game week 33, because I know a lot of us do own Leeds assets, a Rafinha, those Wolves assets. Most of us have a double up or triple up, and with Aston Villa, Coutinho and Luca Digne are quite popular FPL assets. So now that we've kind of seen this, if you guys aren't going to be using a chip such as a free hit or wildcard around game week 33, I would suggest getting these options out when their fixtures do turn prior to double/blank game week 33. But luckily these will be the only 3 teams that blank, and the rest will either have a single game week or a double. Moving on to those chances of the double game weeks, there's kind of 3 categories that we're going to talk about: a slim chance, a maybe or a likely chance, and then finally confirmed double game weeks. Now the 3 teams that have a slim chance of doubling in game week 33 are going to be Liverpool, Man City and Chelsea. Now you guys might note these are the 3 exact teams I mentioned with the FA Cup, but that's because they are the favourites for these FA Cup games, and therefore their odds or probability of getting a double have been decreased. So we're going to start off with Liverpool, who have a fixture against Aston Villa away and then Man United at home. That Man United home game will go ahead no matter what happens in the FA Cup, but obviously the Aston Villa game away could fall away because of the FA Cup semi-finals. In terms of Man City, they will have Wolves away and then Brighton away. The Brighton at home game will go ahead, but the Wolves away game is in contention of being cancelled. Then finally Chelsea, who take on Leeds away, and then finally Arsenal at home. Now this will cause some controversy in terms of the free hit, because what might happen is that all 3 teams will win in the FA Cup, and therefore they'll only have a single game week, so then free hitters might be going without Liverpool, Man City or Chelsea options. Now when I've conducted my own planning for the upcoming doubles, I have regarded these 3 teams as winning, as they are such heavy favourites, and therefore I've kind of assumed that the double game week 33 fixtures won't be happening for Arsenal, Man City and Chelsea. We then move on to the maybe or likely category. The reason for this is that Southampton take on Man City, and Man City currently are favoured in that opposition. So the 2 teams that could double with a likely chance are going to be Southampton and then also Arsenal. Now the reason for that is that if Southampton do lose, that Arsenal at home game will go ahead, and therefore Arsenal will also double because their Chelsea away game will definitely go ahead even if Chelsea win in the FA Cup. So Southampton's games will be Arsenal at home and then Burnley away, and then Arsenal will take on Southampton away and then Chelsea away. Now Southampton losing in the FA Cup for my own team is going to be super integral because I own Southampton assets and I still do have an Arsenal triple up. Now this is going to be Chelsea away, but I guess I would take that over only having Chelsea away in a single game week, and therefore I kind of want Man City to beat Southampton for my own FPL team. The Southampton double of Arsenal at home, not really a great fixture. I've listed it as a red fixture just because Arsenal have been defending pretty well recently and Southampton's form has dipped slightly. But the Burnley away game, that's going to be a great game from a Southampton point of view. Might be a little bit tricky considering that Burnley are in a relegation battle, but I still do favour Hasenhutl's men. Arsenal on the other hand, Southampton away and Chelsea away, not the best double. I think the Southampton game, Arsenal always do generally well against them, but against Chelsea I'm not expecting too much, but we might see Chelsea kind of rotate if they still are in the Champions League. So these 2 teams have a slightly increased chance of doubling, and therefore in my own plans I've kind of assumed that Southampton will lose to Man City. But now finally, we've spoken about ifs, maybes, let's go to absolutes. We've got 5 teams that will definitely be doubling in double game week 33. Those 5 teams include Newcastle, Leicester, Brighton, and then finally United and Burnley. In terms of the fixtures, let's start off with the Newcastle, who take on Leicester at home and Crystal Palace at home. I have listed Leicester as a white fixture just because they've been a little bit hard to predict, and as I've mentioned with other kind of clubs, if they still are in European competitions, there might be some rotation there because I don't really think they can challenge for top 4. Crystal Palace at home will also be kind of a meh fixture for me, and the way Newcastle have been actually playing, I might consider bringing in one of their defenders. Then moving on to Leicester, who 100% have the best double in double game week 33. It's going to be Newcastle away and then Everton away as well. So both these 2 teams I reckon that Leicester can do quite well against, maybe from a defensive, but probably more from an attacking point of view, and I do think we have to prioritise a Barnes or Maddison heading into double game week 33. Like I mentioned with Leicester though, they are still in the European competitions, and if they do progress as expected, there might be some rotation in the Prem. Brighton, the final team on the left-hand side, they take on Spurs away and Man City away. Definitely would be avoiding those Brighton assets. I know it is a double game week, but Spurs away and Man City away is not good in my eyes, and therefore I'd probably stay clear of that Brighton attack and defense. We then head on to quite an interesting one, a really popular FPL team usually. It's going to be Manchester United, who have Norwich at home, but then Liverpool away. So the Norwich game on paper 100% looks great. Norwich also in a relegation battle, so it should put up a strong fight. But if United can pick up the form after losing against Atletico Madrid last night, I do think a Ronaldo or a Bruno could be the standout captaincy options for double game week 33. The Liverpool game, don't really want a replication of what happened at Old Trafford in the early stages of the season, but this will be a tough one because it is at Anfield, and therefore I can't suggest too many returns out of this game. Finally, going on to Burnley. We talk about Burnley so much with these double game weeks, but that's just because they have so many games to be rearranged. They're going to take on West Ham away, then Southampton away as well. I actually don't really mind these two games. I think Burnley could actually do well in both of them. It does kind of depend on what team Burnley kind of sets up with. But as I mentioned, with most of these teams, relegation battles sometimes ignite some of form. And therefore against West Ham and Burnley, we could be looking at some clean sheets and maybe some goals from a Weghorst. So this basically summarizes double game week 33 and blank game week 33. The FA Cup quarterfinals will determine who doubles and who blanks, but I have spoken about every possibility. I've spoken about the ifs, the maybes, and also the absolutes. But the final stages of this video, I'm going to be talking about my own chip strategy as well as giving you guys a brief overview of what could happen in double game week 36 and 37. Now double game week 36 and 37 will basically be the last chance that teams can get a double game week, just because no doubles will happen in game week 38 because of consistency. So if a team does progress to the FA Cup semi-finals like a Chelsea, a Liverpool, or a Man City, their blank game week fixture in 33, which remember will be the first game, not the second game in the midweek, so that weekend game that those three teams do have will then need to be rearranged. So the probability of that game being rearranged in double game week 36 and 37 is actually quite high, and therefore I would wait till those FA Cup games or those quarterfinals do happen to get a clearer image of the upcoming doubles. Now whether a fixture happens in double game week 36 and 37, I don't exactly know the kind of reasoning behind that, but I do know that 36 will be a bigger double than 37. But now let's talk about chip strategy, as I'm sure you guys are wanting to talk about. Myself, I only have a free hit, so currently it's between 33, 36 and 37 just because I'm not going to use it in blank game week 30. But just remember that you can't use two free hits in 2 consecutive game weeks. Now my initial thinking was to use the free hit in double game week 36 just because it's the bigger double, has the highest return potential, but we have to look at the teams that double and the fixtures before that to really choose if we're going to use the free hit. The reason I'm saying that is, let's take Man City for example. They're rumored to double in 36, but if they do have great fixtures in 34, 35, I might bring those options in anyway just because the fixtures look strong prior to game week 36. Now this might be quite confusing, but I will kind of explain it a bit more in the next talking point. But all you guys have to kind of know is that if the games have not been rescheduled for game week 33, then the chances of them happening in 36 and 37 is quite high. So now to give you guys some more clarity, I decided to get a graphic, and who better to choose than Ben CRELLIN, the master and the guru of kind of doubles and blank game weeks. He actually created a super nice graphic on Twitter yesterday, and I thought that I would use it to explain my game week schedule slightly better. So shout out to Ben CRELLIN, go check him out on Twitter if you guys haven't, but chances are you already know who he is. So Ben released this graphic yesterday. It kind of lays out game week 31, game week 36 and game week 37 quite nicely, and also with the newly implemented double/blank game week 33. Now the thing to note about this graphic is that Ben has kind of assumed that Liverpool, Man City and Chelsea will progress in the FA Cup, and therefore they will blank in one game in 33 but have a double in 36 or 37. So the game weeks I want to kind of focus on are going to be double/blank game week 33, double game week 36, and then finally double game week 37. And I think you guys have to do this if you guys want to plan your upcoming chip strategy. For example, if the players to bring in for 33 don't have great fixtures prior to that, then we might choose to use the free hit then rather than game week 36. Let's go back to that Man City example. You guys can see in game week 34, Watford at home, game week 35, Leeds away, and then they're also rumored to have a double in 36. So I will bring in a Cancelo, a De Bruyne potentially, maybe even double up with the Foden in midfield, just because the Man City fixtures are quite strong. So therefore, in game week 36, I might already have those options, and therefore a free hit might not be as valuable. So this was kind of the start of the thinking behind a double game week, a 37 free hit, but I still do think 36 might be where I go for. In terms of game week 33, I think we can prepare for this adequately. We have a kind of 4 transfers if we do bank in game week 30 to kind of prepare for those double game week players. And to be honest, most of the fixtures in double game week 33 don't look that exceptional. So you guys can kind of pause the video right now if you guys want to look at this graphic a bit more, or just go check out Ben CRELLIN on Twitter and then you can have that image forever. But I'm going to kind of wrap up my thinking right now with saying that my current chip strategy is to not free hit in game week 33, but currently double game week 36 looks like the optimum place for that free hit chip. But as I mentioned previously, please just wait for the FA Cup quarterfinals to progress. I just wanted to plant the seed here of what could happen and what might not happen in terms of double game week 33 and blank game week 33, just that you guys can start your initial planning. We will, however, update our strategy and our plans as the game weeks kind of conclude, as I think with more time will come more clarity. But this is basically wrap up the video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Please don't forget to like if you did and subscribe if you have not subscribed yet. I'll be seeing you guys for the team selection tomorrow, and hopefully Mo Salah bangs a Hattie tonight. But I'm going to be signing off. It's been Dayvy FPL, and I'm out. Cheers, bye.